This week on the Digital Coffee, TikTok wants to burst your algorithm bubble. Instagram launches a new feature that could help you delight your customers, and Facebook rolls out some changes to ad objectives. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for your business. My name is Amanda Webb, and welcome back. This is the first show of 2022. I've been off air for 2 weeks. And you know what? Even in 2 weeks, you totally forget what you're doing. So hopefully all my button pressing will be good this week. It's great to see you here. Good morning to Katie, who has answered my question of the week, which is, do you TikTok? And no, avoiding TikTok. And you know what? I don't blame you. I only kind of go in there now and then to know what's happening and knowing how it works. So I don't blame you there. And interestingly, we did a poll in my Facebook group. Hello, Facebook group, if you're there this week. And I was asking people, were they going to take on a new social network for 2022? I know a lot of people would think so. And actually, almost everyone, in fact, only 2 people said yes, and one of those people said TikTok, where I think in previous years there has been a lot of people jumping around wanting to try things in the new year. And in some ways, I think that's a good thing. In some ways, I think people have been listening to me because I'm always like, don't just chase every last thing. Don't go on TikTok unless you know why you want to go on TikTok. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Great to see you here, Katie. We've got a whole bundle of news for you. If you're watching on Facebook, as usual, if you leave a comment, you'll get a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper, which gives you all these stories I'm talking about and links to find out more. If you are watching on YouTube, there's actually a link at the top of the chat there and in the description of this video where you can download that stuff. Oh, here's Making. Good morning, Making. Don't forget, I'm glad you're here because I almost forgot to tell people that at 10:30 a.m. after this, we have an after show where myself and Making discuss all the topics I'm talking about. Making often disagrees with me, which I think always makes for a great conversation. And you're welcome to join us on Twitter Spaces. If you go over to my Twitter profile, which is at Spiderworking, you'll see a pinned tweet about that. So you tried TikTok for 5 minutes, looking to get back into it. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, I should probably talk about some news, shouldn't I? Because that's probably why you tuned in.
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
Personal connections. I think, that personal connection is still the best way to delight your audience. And, when you delight your audience, there's a huge amount of benefit there. You're engaging them, but you can also, because it's such a one-to-one personal interaction, you can be turning them into lifelong raving fans. And that's why I'm so excited about this new Instagram feature. We have talked about it before in the show when it was just a rumor, so I'm really excited to see this being rolled out. What is it? You may ask, what is she talking about? Why is she teasing us like this? Well, it is the ability to reply to comments on an Instagram post with an Instagram reel. I have it. It should be on your profile now. So once we finish this show, go have a look. And what happens is when you find a comment on a post, you can click to reply. And when you click to reply, Instagram will tell you, did you know you can now reply with a reel? And when you say, yes, I'd like to try that out, please, Instagram, it will open up that comment in the Instagram Reels camera. You can see I've got one there. You can move it around just like any sticker that you add to something. And then you can record your reel as a response. And, the easiest way to do this would be just to, record a reel, a headshot talking back to the person who's left the comment. But of course, you could get way more creative with this. You could create a video, you could upload it, you could do something mad creative with Reels that includes something maybe that was mentioned in the comment to make it really special. I am so excited to see what brands actually do with this, what businesses do with this, how they use it. I don't think there's anything wrong with just responding, just saying, hello, thanks a million for your comment. What I found really interesting was, but I just know there are some great creative people out there who are going to push it to the next level. So one way to delight your customers, and when you delight your customers, that is, or your audience, doesn't have to be your customers, that is just such a great way to amplify your brand, because they will talk about you forever. Well, maybe not forever. Katie says, what an interesting idea for the comments on Reels. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing how people use it. I know I'm going to be inspired by what I see. So if you see any good examples of this, please do share them with me, because I'm totally not on Instagram enough.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Webb, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, Twitter has for a very long time allowed you to reply to a tweet with a video, which is a lovely personalized response. It's a really good way to delight your audience. But now there's something else coming. Reverse Hacker on Twitter, whose name is Alex193A, has discovered that Twitter are working on retweeting with a reaction. What does that even mean? Well, it's going to come there. When you click the retweet button, it's going to be these three options: retweet and quote tweet, which we are familiar with already, and then retweet with a reaction. What happens when you click that button? Well, it opens up the Twitter camera. Looks very familiar, doesn't it, to exactly what you can now do in Instagram Reels. And inside the Twitter camera, it will bring up the tweet that you're going to retweet. You can either take a photograph or record a video or upload something from your camera roll. So you could use this to give someone a shout out, to tell somebody that they're doing a great job, to tell people that you've used a product or service and you recommend it, and here's a retweet of that so that you can go and find it, that you should listen to the Digital Coffee. Watch the Digital Coffee, that you should listen to the Extra Shot, the Digital Coffee after show. It's a really good way to add context to why you're retweeting something. Again, I'm going to be so interested to see how people use this. And I also wonder, if there is that much video content on Twitter, will people like that? Because I know kind of like hardcore Twitter users who've been using it since year dot tend to have a little bit kickback about so much visual content. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But once again, this is a really good way to delight your customers. Hopefully it will come out of test mode soon, so we can see how people use it.
I'm Ant McGinley, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, the one criticism that can be totally levelled at social networks is they keep you inside your bubble. Algorithms are designed to show you more of the stuff that you have responded to in the past, which means the connections that you choose to make, your feed will fill up with information that can often have you thinking that everyone's worldview is your worldview. And we've actually talked about this extensively on the show and in our Twitter space before, because those bubbles are causing polarization. It's causing a lot of political unrest. It's causing people to go down rabbit holes because they're never seeing an alternative opinion. But that's not the worst. Well, that probably is the worst. But it can also amplify feelings of shame. If you've got poor body image and you're always, looking at pictures of people with good image and feeling bad, you can get into a real deep funk about that. Or if you're upset about something, it constantly keeps showing you, because it's like listening to sad songs. If you've had a breakup, it's good for a little while, but after a while, you really don't need to. So it can be bad for all those reasons. And out of all the social networks, the one that is recognizing this is TikTok. And probably because TikTok isn't just based on who you connect with, there is the For You feed, which is, it's entertainment. But they recognize, because this is based on all your interactions that you've made on TikTok before, that you could end up seeing that same worldview over and over again. So what are they doing? They have decided, well, the first thing that they're doing is that they've said specifically you will not see 2 videos in a row from the same creator in the For You feed, and you will not see 2 videos in a row with the same sound click. So this should diversify your experience. But it also sounds like they're going to start throwing in random topics to you so that you get a better world view. So the algorithm is going to change to make your space less bubbly and more diverse. Their quote is that doing so enriches the viewing experience and can help promote exposure to a range of ideas and perspectives on our platform. I would like to give TikTok a high five for this, because I think it is something that is so desperately needed. I think, the bad effect that social network has had on the world is this polarization that comes from the algorithmic bubbles. I can see Katie here again. Just to remind anyone that's watching, if you do comment, if you're watching on Facebook, if you comment on Facebook, I will ping you by direct message a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a sign up to get it at the top of the chat box. But please let me know what you think as well. Maybe you disagree with me, or maybe what you agree with me. I'd love to hear. Katie says, hopefully, and we're talking about the replies on Twitter now, it will make Twitter feel more fun and friendly. Well, hopefully you have that experience, because that's my experience on Twitter, and I know it's not everybody. So I do hope that you find that, Katie. So good.
Hi, I'm Christine Gritman, and you are watching The Digital Coffee with social media superstar Amanda Webb.
If you want to get the best results from Facebook ads, the first thing that you come across in Facebook ads, and the most important thing, is actually your objective. And this is like a set list of parameters that you can run Facebook ads for. So for example, there's an objective for traffic, website clicks. So if you want to get a lot of people over to your website, that is the objective you go for. If you want to sell something, you might go for a conversion sales ad. If you want to get people to sign up for your email list, there's 2 options currently. There are lead forms, which open up on Facebook, and there are website conversions for leads. But it all gets a bit complicated because there's so many things that you can optimize for now on Facebook that it can seem a little bit intimidating. It could take you a while to choose the same objective, the right objective. So Facebook are working on this. They're working on actually bringing together a lot of the ad objectives under specific umbrellas. There we go. Here is the thing, if you can see that at all. And what this means is, for example, if you select the leads objective in the new interface, this will include getting messages, getting phone calls, or getting signups. So you'll be able to optimize for any of those just by going through this process. Now, initially, when this was in testing mode, I thought this was just about making it easier for you to find the objective you wanted, making it easier for a new advertiser maybe to navigate the system. But it seems that as well as this, it's actually looking to a future where Facebook ads are going to be optimized in a different way. So at the moment, if you run an ad on Facebook, you might run different versions of your ads, maybe one with a video and one with a photograph. Facebook knows across Facebook and Instagram who you're showing it to and who's more likely to respond to a video and who's more likely to respond to a photo, and it will show your ads correspondingly to those people. It also knows, and this is the importance of setting your ad objective, if somebody is likely to click a link, it's more likely to show your ad to the person who's going to click a link. If it knows that these sort of people will convert for that sort of product, it's more likely to show them your sales ad, for example. If it knows people who engage, it's going to show your ads to people who will engage on Facebook. In the future, you will be able to set up maybe a leads ad where you optimize for leads that will show either the lead form that I mentioned earlier that opens up on Facebook to people who are more likely to fill in that lead form, or send them to the website to fill in a form for people it knows are more likely to do that. So across platform, you will be able to just select leads and it will optimize depending on the person. All that, I probably melted your brain, but I think it's a very exciting innovation. And it just shows how artificial intelligence really is improving in order to get you better ad results. And it will continue to improve in the future. Making says, well done on TikTok on being an algorithm bubble buster. Yes, I think it's important. And this is a trend we are going to see more of on social media. I can't remember if I added it to my Christmas stocking trends, but definitely it's a trend we're going to see more of. I know Twitter is looking at, choose your own algorithm. Do you just want the chronological feed? Do you want that? We know Instagram is looking at giving you the option to view your chronological feed. So there is going to definitely be a change in algorithms into the future.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
Snapchat have just launched a new app. It's only available to some selected people at the moment. I can see it on my desktop and it tells me I can get it on my phone, and then I can't get it on my phone. But it's a new video editing app. And this will give people the ability to edit in more detail than you can on Snapchat at the moment. Now, it's a long time since I've created a snap, but I remember one of the frustrating things for me was always you couldn't trim the beginning and the end off, when you messed your things up, as far as I remember. So I imagine this new app is going to give you that option. It's going to have all the Snapchat features. So you'll be able to, add your lenses. You'll be able to make your face look weird. You'll be able to use all their augmented reality lenses there as well. And you will be able to, there was something else. And you'll be able to use their sounds as well, because sounds has become part of Snapchat too. And once you've created in there, you'll either be able to zap it over to Snapchat to go on your Snapchat story, or you'll actually be able to download the video and use it on other social networks. And this is the piece that I find really interesting. Because I don't have the app, I don't know, will it be watermarked when you do that? Because we know that's not great for Instagram Reels if it is. But Snapchat have all these tools. There is actually a Snapchat lens app that you can get for a computer, and you can put lenses on your Zoom calls, which can cause confusion if you're a lawyer and you have a cat face on, but it's a really good tool. So I'm wondering what their agenda is. Is it the fact that they want more people to come back over to Snapchat because people will be sharing these videos they've made on other platforms? Or is there some monetization in tools like this for them in the future? I'd love to know why you think they might do it. On the other hand, it's free at the moment. So as soon as you can get it, it might be worth playing with just to create better reels. Sorry, Snapchat.
I'm Ian Anderson-Gray and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Video on social media has always been a sound off affair, or it used to be a sound off affair. I think the statistic that always floats around is that 87% of people who watch videos on Facebook watch them with the sound off. There was similar going on Instagram in the feed. People would watch with the sound off because of the context of where they were watching. Very often they didn't want to blast sound out to the world. But this has changed. This has changed particularly for short form video content, for TikTok, for Instagram Reels, for Snapchat, because sound is so important to those videos. It is what makes them special, that it is definitely a sound on world now, particularly for those. I still think I'm not putting the sound on a Facebook video a lot of the time. TikTok obviously are hugely invested in this because, their sounds are, they are the making of it. It sounds are what makes things go viral. The challenge is, it is what makes a boring video really interesting. So they're really on board with this, and they've just launched a series of reports on studies they have done related to sound. And some of the statistics are really interesting. I have to squint at this now. Apparently, there is 120% awareness lift for brands that use TikTok music-driven sound-on ad solutions, which means when they use sound in ads. And also there is an 8x improvement in ad recall when those sounds are used. Now, this is very interesting for the future of sound in general. And forget about the fact they're talking about ads. Using sound on TikTok and on Reels is non-negotiable. You must use sound, whether it's your own or whether you're using sound clips. But also we need to start thinking about our businesses and our brands beyond the logo that we create, our graphical logo. Maybe we need to start thinking of associating sounds and having an audio logo as well. When I started thinking about this, and I'm not sure if I just read this somewhere else because these three examples probably come up a lot, there is Apple. Apple has a very distinctive sound. It's the sound that your computer makes when it starts up, but it's also used elsewhere on Apple. Intel, they have, if I played this to you now, you would recognize it as being the Intel sound. And HBO, I mean, it always brings me back to Sex in the City because that's when I first started watching HBO things, but there is this kind of hissy sound at the end of HBO programs that you would associate 100% with HBO afterwards. So I think, again, this is a trend we're going to see more of, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of TikTok's articles on this. Whether you're into TikTok or not, I don't think it matters. The future of sound and how we use it in our marketing is going to be huge. I think we've one more story, and it's a really bizarre one.
You're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Say you were really big. Everyone knows about you already, like making. Everyone knows about making. Say you were really big. How do you expand your marketing then? How can you keep reaching new people and delighting new people? You have to come up with an amazing marketing campaign. And to be honest, I think that's what TikTok have done. They've come up with something really mad and creative. What is it? It's a TikTok restaurant. They're calling it TikTok Kitchen. No, it's not a physical chain of restaurants. What it's going to be, unfortunately, only the United States are going to get this. It's going to be launched in March. And what it is they're partnering with Grubhub, which I think is like Just Eat if you're in the UK and Ireland. That's a brand we know, which is a food delivery service. It is a delivery only restaurant, and virtual dining concepts. And when I looked into what this is, it's basically, you can use your kitchen to make food for delivery. So I imagine it's going to be existing restaurants and people with existing catering kitchens are going to be making these meals. What are the meals? The meals are from recipes that have gone viral on TikTok. There was some sort of pasta baked with feta. Apparently that was huge. I know, weird, right? But that's going to be one of the recipes they feature. They'll be able to make it. You'll order it. It'll come in the TikTok branding. The creators of the recipe will get a cut of the profits from it. So it's going to be a revenue sharing thing. And if you got one of these TikTok deliveries, wouldn't you want to share it with the world? Wouldn't it be that cool that you would want to share it with the world? So you're going to get user-generated content. Where are you going to share it? Well, myself and Katie, we're not sharing it on TikTok. We're sharing it on Instagram. So it's a really good way for them to get their brand awareness way beyond, to do something creative, to make people feel a specific way about what they do. And honestly, I think it is genius. Well, that is it for the Digital Coffee for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I can see there's been loads of you watching, not many of you commenting. I'd love to know who you are, where you're watching. Tell me, are you on YouTube or Facebook? Don't forget to tune in at 10:30 a.m. to Twitter Spaces with myself and Making Sang, where we can talk about these stories in more detail. At the top of my Twitter profile, you will see I have pinned a tweet about that. So at 10:30, just go in and you can click the link on that. If you want to speak, you need to join on mobile, but you can listen on desktop. I will be back here. It's snowing outside. I just had to tell you that. It's snowing outside. I will be back here, same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.